What's up? What's up? We are live. So we're going to see what's up with the questions today. Looking forward to getting back on here for Google Hangout. Had a blast last time. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys got to say and what you're interested in hearing. So let me go over to the YouTube page now and see what's up. All right, go ahead and hit me with them questions. All right, so Adam Klein says, I'm stuck at a certain weight. What is my first start to break through a plateau to gaining more muscle and weight? So Adam, it depends on how fast your metabolism is, and what you're going to want to do is try like the Get Swole plan is probably a good base. I would try phase 2, so you're lifting a little heavy. Look at the diet plan and just really see how your body reacts, and then you can kind of roll with it from there. You could add the iron mass from the Arnold Series. You can add more fats. You can add more carbs. So it really just depends on how do you react at a certain base point, and then from that point you add from that. So let's say you try the Get Swole plan straight, then add iron mass, see what your body does. If it does good, bad, or indifferent, then you can add more almonds at night. You can add more sweet potatoes for your second meal, and I would just add things as it goes. So that's how I would do it. And as long as you're training hard, things should start happening. It just really just depends on how fast your metabolism is, man. All right, so Adam Whistler over on Twitter, he's asking, how am I? I'm good, man. Good to hear from you, Adam. Since I'm only 18, would it be still cool to take iron cuts because of the test boost? The primary function is not test boost. It's mostly to lose body fat, but has a component of estrogen suppression. So you're able to lose body fat and get a little bit of kind of some test action there too. So I would say I'm not against you taking it at 18, but I would be against you taking battle fuel because that's primary purpose is test boost. So I would say yeah, that's cool, not a big deal. We'll go back over here here we go. Chris Wolford, when will the workouts be on the MusclePharm site? They should be on there within the next week. We have actually loaded 300 workouts with videos up under each workout, which is pretty cool. And I believe we're just building a little bit more stuff on the back end to be able to support it, but it's almost there. And I'm excited to get it launched because then, like, when everybody's asking about exercise forms or anything like that, they're all right there. And so then you can, everything's pretty much self-explanatory at that point, which is cool. Iron cuts or shred matrix for Zebra Crab. Hopefully I didn't chop it up too much, but I would say depending on if you're trying to make a hard cut, I would go shred matrix first. If you're looking to lose a little bit of body fat, but you're mostly into probably the strength component or not like trying to make a hard cut, just trying to make a little bit of body fat kind of steady, I would say iron cuts. Shred gets after it real quick. I love shred matrix. It helps me get ready for all the stuff that I do. So, but iron cuts is awesome too, and I've used it once I came off of my shows and things. I went to iron cuts even though I was doing powerlifting. It's a cool product. So definitely check it out. Anthony Macri, can you gain muscle and still drop weight? Maybe with more reps instead of heavy lifting. You can gain some muscle and drop some body fat, absolutely. It really comes down to the reps and heavy lift, I think you got to do a little bit of both. I think some high reps, some low reps. If you notice, a lot of my programs are volume based. A lot of the 1970s bodybuilders all did a lot of volume based workouts. So I think it also depends on what nutrition that you're supporting it with. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. So you can do high reps all day, but if you eat like crap, you're still gonna blow up. Or you can do low reps and eat perfect and be crazy shredded. I mean, I've done that before where I've done reps of 6 and got lean as all get out because my diet was like dead on. So it has a lot to do with it. Now we got them rolling in. Hold up one quick second. Adam, you're welcome. No problem, buddy. Let me come down here. We got Blake B. Trying to kind of pressing to create an elite total in 1 or 2 weight classes will be the goal. So I'll always get in shape for cover stuff or maybe even do another show. But my first main personal goal is to get strong enough to, I would like to really do it at 181 and then either go down to 65 or up to 98. But like I said, at 208 pounds, I totaled 1755, 700-pound squat. I think it was a 480 bench or I think it was 480 bench and 575 deadlift, and I just missed it because really I just didn't try to make weight that day. So I should have, obviously. Other than that, good books. I just got onto a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Awesome book. Talks about the daily disciplines. It's really speaks volumes to what I like on a regular basis. And another book that's awesome is The Mind of Maurice Claret, my buddy Maurice Claret. What's so cool about Maurice's book is it was written when he was in prison, and it comes from the most stripped down version of what you have available to you. You miss your family, you miss just the basic things in life, you miss the trees, you miss everything. And if anybody's followed Maurice, you've seen how he's done well from his 30 for 30. He just came on ESPN, and he's doing amazing. So he's one of the guys I train with on a regular basis, and I've seen his kind of transformation. And so his book's real cool. I think it puts some things in perspective on day to day. So I would definitely check both those out. Hey man, what's your opinion of CrossFit? From Jared Katz. I like CrossFit. A lot of people probably think I wouldn't like CrossFit, but to me, CrossFit came and packaged extremely hard workouts to the average person. So at old school gym in Columbus, Ohio, Pataska, Ohio, where I live, we've been doing crazy ass workouts forever. That's just what we do. I mean, we were ranked in the top 10 hardcore gyms in the country, and CrossFit was able to pull that in with Olympic lifting, powerlifting, they just bring everything together and then package it to the average person. And then you got your elite level CrossFitters like Rich Froning and Graham Holmberg and Austin Meliello and all those guys. So I like it. I've got my CF level 1 certification. I've never taught a CrossFit class. I did it for just a pure learning of the sport. And if I'm a little bit beat up. And so I've thought about competing in it a few times. I'd have to really go all in. And so I don't think I'm all in CrossFit yet. I can't really say that because I think bodybuilding and powerlifting is more dear to me. But I definitely dig it, think it's worth checking out, and it's hard. So people would say it's not hard or tripping. It's hard, for sure. Especially if you roll with some of the guys I rolled with before. It's difficult. All right. Rural Lavlold. He says assault is currently not legal in his country. Make it legal in my country. You'll have to tell me what country you're in, Roar, and message me, and I'll send it to the international guy, and then we can see. Maybe it is in your country. You might not know about it. So, Mike Frank. Tried carnitine core, and he's worried about some of the texture of it. Mike, I would do is email info@musclepharm.com. He'll take care of you. Brian Perry is our customer service specialist. He'll get you taken care of. Charlie Hoskins. How many fat grams should I take in if I'm doing a low carb diet and I train for 30 minutes a day? Well, Charles, the guy that did my diet plan for years is Dr. Eric Serrano, and we did a lot of stuff based around the anabolic diet and just fat loading and higher fat stuff in general. I honestly never really calculated it. I just went off on how I felt, how I looked, and we kept it to clean fats, avocado, natural peanut butter, whole eggs, white cheeses, olive oil, coconut oil. I really didn't track the fat grams. Macro wise, I'm not the best at. I'm pretty much in tune with just the way I look. So I would say um, start with a reasonable amount compared to what you're doing. Maybe have a little bit of fat in each one of your meals and just see how you feel and go from there. But I mean, if you stay more towards lean red meat, whole eggs, avocado, use your coconut oil to cook your eggs in, or olive oil. I mean, you'll notice a nice energy change on a low carb diet, and just see how you feel. You could ask that question to Doc at MusclePharm.com too, and he might be able to give you a little bit better at. My training on that's not as vast as his. Mine's more from the application standpoint, just by seeing the way I look at what happens, how lean I get. Um, at the crazy carnage, how often should I be increasing the weights I'm using? Really kind of depends on what your goals are. It could be if you're pyramiding, you're going to increase weight every set, go down in reps. If you're doing 3 sets of 20, you might, just increase it if you need it to be harder. It really just depends on what your goals are. I mean, you want it to be difficult, so I would increase it. If stuff's easy, then you need to increase your weight. Um, at Zach Londergun, best split for a hard gainer. I would check out the Get Swole plan, man. Phase 1 and Phase 2. Let's see what happens with you. But I like the old chest and back supersets, low rest. Really just try to like throw a stimulus at the body that maybe it's never seen before. Back that up with quality nutrition that's laid out there, and you could add iron mass instead of combat, and really see what happens with you. But I think it'll do well. At Siddharth Shelton, they say creatine results in water retention. I think the old just straight monohydrate used to give you a lot of water retention. Try to get my hat straight there. But the creatine that we have at MusclePharm, either the Cre3 or the 5-stage creatine that's at the MP creatine, the white core creatine, I don't really notice any water retention with either of those. I do need to notice just increased explosiveness and strength, but nothing like I'm walking around bloated like I used to back in the day when I was just taking straight just bad monohydrate when I was young. So at GT one ab, key factors increasing vascularity. Vascularity to me is simple. If you're lean, you're going to be vascular. Basically, your veins are not showing because of the body fat in between the skin and the muscle. When I'm lean, I'm veiny all over the place. You touch a weight and I have a pre-workout, it's a wrap. Veins going through my shoulders, chest, all down my arms. That's just part of being lean. So unless you have some type of like thing going on I'm not aware of, it's really going to come down to if you're lean enough, your vascularity should be there. I mean, you could trick your veins a little bit more once you get down around 10% by taking certain sugars in or whatever. But at the end of the day, to just be a lean, like a veiny person, it comes down to being leaner. Can I eat Burger King during my bulk? Chris Snoke. Yeah, you can eat it. It depends on what kind of bulk you're after, brother. You can eat Burger King if you want, but I would just be careful how often I did it. It really depends what your goals are. Every body type's a little different, and every body type actually reacts to different macronutrients different too. It seems like, and a lot of it depends on the person, the way you train, how advanced you are in training. So I would say maybe try to elaborate on that just a little bit. That'd be cool. All right, see what we got next. Coming down here, we got some good amount of questions pouring in now. At Mike Frank, have you trained with Arnold yet? I have not, but I'm going to. Mark my word. That will happen. We've talked a lot about training, and I've been with him a bunch of times, but I haven't got the train yet. But he mentioned it, and he actually called me one time when he was in Columbus to train at Old School, and he couldn't get out of his meeting in time. So that was pretty fun even to think that he was going to come to Old School. At DrumDrum99, what are the key components for building a bigger, rounder chest? My chest always seems to lag behind than other muscles. Well, I would say there's a couple things. One is making sure you take full range on the bar. In my opinion, I mean, my pecs grew pretty well, and I've always been a pretty good bench presser. When you go halfway down and then go back up, the muscle's not really properly stretching. I also think when you're doing an incline, you have to have like a major arch, and so when you come with that bar down, that arch has got to be real high, like you're sitting on like you got your chest on a shelf. Stretch that pec and then grind it out and squeeze it. So I think between that, changing your rep counts all the time from volume to heavy stuff, deep flies, but not a fly where your arm's high like this in your shoulder. Bring it down a little bit more of an angle with a big arch so you can actually stretch the pec. Also, be real careful when you're doing your chest machines that you're angled correctly so you can get a good pec stretch. And at the end of the day, I would do some low volume, some high volume, and just really, really like mind muscle connect with the pecs, which sounds kind of funny, but you should be able to feel those pecs stretching, pressing. You just got to be in tune with it. So I know when I talked to Arnold, this is actually brings me back when I talked to Arnold about training just last month. I asked him what his favorite chest exercise was. And he said it had to be flies. He said I used to try to take them and touch them on the ground because I knew if that pec stretched, it was going to grow. Now, don't rip your pec off, obviously, stretching it all on a bad angle and whatever. If you watch Arnold in Pumping Iron, he shows that stretch almost perfect. And so that's really where I got it from. And so I'm in my basement at 16 years old laying these dumbbells on the concrete. And yeah, I think it jacked my shoulders up a little bit from time to time, but my pecs grew quick. You could see pictures of me when I'm like 17 or 18, and my arms and my legs were still ways behind, but my pecs were swole up, and I think that's why. And I benched 300 pounds when I was like 165 before I left high school, so it definitely worked. At Chris Storer, should I cycle off of salt? Yeah, usually most people take 3 jugs and then take a couple weeks off. So go 3 months on, a couple weeks off, and really you could even go 1 month salt, 1 month iron pump, kind of rotate back and forth. But I do 3 months salt, take a couple weeks off, and then roll back to it. At Gorilla Commando, I feel like I lose my strength over the weekend. For example, I may rock my workout on Friday, and on Monday I can't stay with the momentum. Well, what are you doing on the weekends, Gorilla? Are you hammering back beers, eating bad, not taking care of yourself? That could be one reason maybe. I'm just throwing stuff out there because I don't really have enough information to answer the question. Some people, or you might just need a light pump workout on Saturday if that makes you feel better. But I would just say make sure you're taking care of yourself, proper recovery, take your recon, take your combat, take your caseine, your branch chains, amino one, just making sure that you're all about recovery on the weekend. You should not feel like it. You should, in theory, feel refreshed on Monday and ready to rock. So if that's the way you feel, then something's off somewhere. You got to figure it out. At Mason for Bush, I have heard mixed reviews of the Arnold Series. Is MusclePharm going to come out with a new, improved version? Nah, hell no, man. We always will make things better, but the series is legit. It's selling legit, selling worldwide like crazy. So I don't know what you're hearing or reading, but I'm here to tell you the Arnold Series is legit. It was well thought out by myself, Brad, Jeremy, and Arnold himself, and all the doctors at MusclePharm, Dr. Serrano, Dr. Kim. We took our time. We took a lot into account. We leaned on a lot of people that had a lot of good advice. And at the end of the day, we sat with Arnold and said, what did you like? What did you feel like helped you? And let us show you what we think we can add to that. And so, yeah, Arnold Series tastes good, works good. I used it through my last bodybuilding show. Yeah, I got no complaints, man. It's legit. Hype is real, bro. At Matt Smith, when you post your daily workouts, do you do a circuit right after the weight training? No, those are set up to do two different times of the day, or really even 2 days completely separate. The reason why I put 2 workouts out is some people like to do weightlifting workouts and some people like to do cardio workouts. So I just want to put a version of each out there, so then they're just there and available. Some people you can combine them in the same day, but I wouldn't do one after that. That's too much. At Citrovic, started my intense mass training a month ago, and I'm having some problems with my libido. What can it mean? If you're training heavy and you're eating quality, you might want to look into taking battle fuel. Just see taking battle fuel and taking Z-Core. Maybe it can kind of jumpstart you a little bit. So check that out and let me know what you think. At Jake Rocca, opinion: can someone who doesn't eat meat replace it with combat powder and other sources such as egg whites? I love your products and that swag you have on. Wish I could get that clothing. Hey Jake, appreciate that. You can get that clothing, muscleandstrength.com. Come on. You can replace it. I would use more than just protein. Look, I'll sell you protein all day, but you got to have some regular food too. Obviously, you can use tofu, soy, which I'm not a huge fan of. Do you eat whole eggs? Because if you eat whole eggs, that's better than egg whites to me, especially if you're not getting a lot of traditional protein sources. But really, it's going to be lentils, egg whites, and if you eat peanut butter, you can get it from there too, like natural peanut butter. So check that out. Have you tried working out with CT Fletcher? At Mike Orem. I worked out a little bit with CT at the Arnold launch in Venice, but that don't really count. We just playing around. I will go to Long Beach or at the Arnold, which is like a month and a half. CT's going to be in town, and we're going to get down at Old School, so it'll be fun to have him in town. I love CT. He's awesome, proud. I'm just pumped and proud and to be a part of it, see how he's done for himself and just the international people that love CT. He is motivational. Everybody loves CT, and if you don't, there's something wrong, because the man is paid his dues in the gym. His intensity is unmatched, and man, I'm just, like I tell him and his whole crew, I'm just pumped to be a part of it, just a little part of it. You know what I mean? He's been great for us. So, from the acquisition of Biozone, I cannot, but I can tell you it's going to be really cool. It lends a lot of unique stuff to our company, and just like anything else we do, cutting edge. It's going to be fun and interesting. And you know we always got something up our sleeve. So, at Marin Martinovich, how long is it safe to take Shred Matrix? I would say I usually go 12 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I think the bottle says 8 weeks, somewhere in between 8 to 12, and then take a couple weeks off. So that's what I would do. At Mike Orem, keep up the good work with LaRon Landry's daily workouts. Talk about a perfect model for your workouts, right? What's cool about LaRon is LaRon does these workouts too. So a lot of times I make them up, but LaRon is a beast in the gym, as you guys already know. He puts a gym in like every condo, wherever he lives, whatever team he plays for. He's always in his basement grinding out the weights. And what's cool about LaRon is the first time I met him, LaRon called me and said, I want to be involved in MusclePharm. Obviously, I knew who he was. I said, all right, well, I'm at Old School tomorrow. Why don't you roll out? He flies in from Phoenix, rolls out the train with me, and we did a chest and back workout at Old School first, and then we did business. And awesome guy, trains hard, and it was a lot of fun. Just a good dude. LaRon's a good dude. Joseph Cahill, can I stack Shred Matrix and MP Creatine? I usually don't recommend that, man. I would say if you're taking Shred and a salt, that I wouldn't take any more creatine over top of that. For me, I just don't like to take creatine at the same time I'm taking something that's like creating a mild water flush. So I would say no. What creatine do you prefer, Cre3 or MP Creatine? Actually, that's a good question. I like to alternate them. So right now I'm taking Cre3. Next month I'll take MP Creatine. I like to go back and forth. And so that's what's cool about having the Arnold line. You can float in and out from this. You can be within the brand, but float in and out of unique, unique formulations by both brands, which is cool. But you're still MusclePharm. At Drake R, whey, creatine plus fruit, veggies all together makes me too full. Seems like I'm converting them to fat. Depending on how fast your metabolism is and if you're sensitive to sugars, I don't really think fruit makes people fat, but might be that could be kind of overspilling you with maybe some of the other stuff you're eating. So just condense, don't eat all that stuff together, kind of spread it out. At Rishi Remish, what's your opinion of carb cycling? How would you go about executing that if you recommend it? So the way that I did carb cycling was I would do 2.5 days of low carbs, and then the night of the third, like on the third day at night, I would add in carbs for dinner. That was the traditional carb cycling that I was introduced to in the early days. So literally, I'd go maybe 60 grams of carbohydrates all day Monday, all day Tuesday, all the way till Wednesday night, and then have my carb meal. So by the time Wednesday night hits, you're feeling pretty depleted, and you're ready for. I used to have a banana, a sweet potato, and usually maybe a touch of rice too, or vegetables. It just depended on how I was looking. And I tried all different carbs. It seemed like for some reason the banana and sweet potato worked the best for me. I used to put butter on my sweet potato too. Tasted good. At Scardina27. Hi Corey, my goal is to gain 20 pounds this off season. What is the best possible way to make this happen? I've been doing the Get Swole plan for the past 8 weeks. So how's the Get Swole plan doing so far? Answer me that. And if you need to throw on 20, you probably definitely want to be using Iron Mass rather than Combat. Just going to give you more quality calories, so I would check that out for sure. At Michael Orm, do you cycle creatine and pre-workouts? I do. Usually 8 to 12 weeks on, a couple weeks off. All right, let's go down here to some more questions. At the action panel, how do you improve your squat form? When I keep my chest up, it feels like I'm going to fall backwards. Check this out. Check your bar placement. That could all have a lot to do with it. So I'm a low bar squatter. I've tried to high bar squat. It just seems not comfortable to me at all. When I squatted 700, it was on a low bar position. If it's low, like, down on your traps, it's easier to keep your pecs up too. So if you're a high bar squatter, trying to keep your chest up, and you're maybe not flexible enough or don't have the range of motion, just sit back, especially if you're using a wide stance, it probably just doesn't feel right. So that's probably why you feel that way. So I would say if you're a wide stance, get the bar lower on your back, trap it real deep, squeezing your traps together, and sit back. You should be good to go. Let me know if it works. I gained 13 kilograms in phase 1 and 2 of your Get Swole program. So did you gain that each phase or together? If you gained it together, that's probably about right. Depending on what the quality is too. Hopefully it's good quality. And if that's the case, then that's awesome. So let me know if you feel like you're looking good or you feel like you're adding too much body fat. All right, at Kyle Milne. What's up, Kyle? I know you email us on Facebook a bunch. I train pretty intense, 600 reps daily, but my chest never feels worked. When I do C and B, it feels like it's letting me down. Can you give me some tips? Kyle, honestly, I would do just the weekly workouts we put out on chest. So whatever your 600 reps is doing, it must not be taxing you enough. So I would just completely just nix that and then roll with what we're putting out and just make it heavy and make it difficult and take low rest, and I'm sure it'll grow and it'll be sore because I've been sore almost every week. So at Mr. Fugan Famous, classic. Hey, I currently take Assault before and then Recon after. Just purchased the aminos. When should I be introducing them into my day? So is it Amino 1? Because if it's Amino 1, you take that during your workout, or you can just put a couple scoops in your jug and drink it all day. If it's branch chains, you can take it during your workout too, or take it with your Recon after. All right, next we got Anthony Macri. Usually I take creatine after a workout. Cre3 says take it before. We get the same effects as a monohydrate. You take it post-workout. I actually take mine post-workout. So I would say, yeah, it's creatine. Obviously, it's a nitrate form. But if you're especially already taking a pre-workout, then I would take a post-workout. If you're not taking a pre-workout, you can actually do it pre and post if you want. It's up to you. At Michael Proshka, How do I increase my deadlift? I feel my legs and core are strong enough to get up heavier weight, but my grip is lacking. What you want to do is do some research on the Westside Barbell for deadlift. It sounds like you feel like your foundation's strong enough, but you can't hold on to the weight. So you need to start pulling off mats, pulling out of the rack, doing heavier shrugs, doing things that get heavier weight in your hands that you probably can't or maybe can't pull off the floor. So then once you go to the floor, you should be able to pull the weight that that your back and all that other can support. So Kurt Gatton, do you rock a warm-up set before lifting or just roll right into it? Yeah, I rock a few warm-up sets. I've been in the game a while, plus I'm 35, so I definitely try to get myself warmed up nice and good. I usually, like, if I'm benching, I'll usually hit a couple sets, like a set with 20 with the bar, a set of 20 with a 95, then in the 15 reps, 135, and then kind of go. So I hit 3-4 warm-up sets. Same with squat. I take my time. Deadlift, I usually just go from 135 to 225. So it just depends on the exercise and how I feel. At Posture 3, what are your thoughts of doing cardio during the Get Swole plan? Will it take away your gains? Now, I don't think it'll take away your gains. I think it'll minimize your fat gains. What I would do is sprints. So, it depends on what your body type's like, but you could go, go do the chest and back workout and then rock 20 sprints at the track or on the treadmill. That's cool. It will be actually pretty beneficial to just you keeping a good leanness. So that's nothing wrong with that. Some people probably do it every workout. Some people do it once or twice a week. Just depends on the person. You use a lot of GHD exercises in your strength routines. What are alternatives if the gym doesn't have one? Blake, how your gym not gonna have a GHD? You better request one. You can do if they have a regular Roman chair, like the one that's up high, you can kind of rig it up a little bit and try to do a GHD, or you can wedge your feet up under something and do one from the floor. Just put your knees on a pad, kind of push yourself up a little bit. So I would just try to rig up some type of action at your gym so you can still do them. They're important and they're awesome. I love them. I mean, if you can hamstring curl your body weight, 3-4 sets of 10, 12, put a band around your neck, I mean, all your main lifts are going to go up. At Nick DeBusk, as CrossFit grows in legitimacy, will MP consider sponsoring a CrossFit athlete? We have sponsored multiple CrossFit athletes. Right now, Austin Meliello, who runs the CrossFit Reebok One gym in Boston. We had Katie Hogan, Graham Holberg, and one other person, I believe. So yeah, we've been in the sport for a little bit. We like it, 100%. I got no hate versus CrossFit. I dig it. At Jesse Westover, what's up, Jesse? I notice you from Twitter all the time. This isn't really a question, but I gotta say, I work at GNC in Minnesota. I'm constantly selling MusclePharm products. People love Pump, Creatine, Assault. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. At Gear 7 even. How do I gain muscle? I'm normally skinny, 6'5", 180. Diet and workout suggestions. Get Swole Plan. Check it out. MusclePharm.com. Muscle and Strength has it also. Get Swole Plan. Gotta make it happen. That'll be a good foundation for you. At Drake R, will the body store excess whey and creatine as fat? One, I don't believe that most people even have their levels that high, not like a pro bodybuilder. And I have to double check with Dr. Serrano, but I don't believe whey will store as fat. I think maybe in some cases when it's like astronomically high, but I don't think for a normal person you're gonna have that problem. At Mason Forbush, let's hammer back some beers. Hey, I like Guinness sometimes, Mason, but I don't drink that often. You're funny. At Kyle Cheney, what's up, Kyle? Do you think Anderson Silva should have took more MP products? Of course. I hope he recovers well, though. Anderson's a G for sure. At Kyle Melanie, will you ever do an Arnold plan with meal subs and training with a swole or busy diet? Yep. it's already almost done. Me and Arnold knocked it out, so it'll be coming to you guys around the Arnold Classic. That's when we're trying to get it launched. We did video, we did ebooks, sat down with Arnold. Got to say, it was one of the coolest experiences ever to chop it up with Arnold. And I'll tell you what, Arnold told me some things that I've never even read before. That's going to be in these ebooks. So just a few things here and there, but it's pretty unique. And Arnold was excited about doing it. Obviously, I was excited about doing it, to say the least. And so yeah, I knocked that out with Arnold. We're just making a few changes now, but yeah, it's legit. It's called the Blueprint to Size and the Blueprint to Cut by Arnold and Cory. Strength, muscle, at Abermeen Nasser. Cory, I did your Get Swole plan. I gained a lot of strength and muscles. Awesome. You're the best. Appreciate it. So, suggest eating some carbs post-workout and at night. What about breakfast and post-workout? I keep my, if breakfast is your post-workout, I think that's different. That's cool. I'm not a huge fan of like loading up on carbs for breakfast. Some people can, that's just me. Like some people can handle it. I eat a bunch of carbs for breakfast. I'm going to want to sleep by 8 o'clock because my insulin just went, and then I'm like, you know, and I like being alert, feeling good. So to me, post-workout, like in the evening or whatever, that's cool. But I never really load up for carbs on breakfast, but that's just me. Some people can get away with it. Some people could eat a whole cup of oatmeal and all kinds of stuff and be fine. So it just really depends. I would just trial and error, man. It's not really a perfect answer for that. What do you think about intermittent fasting? At Chris Snoke. Didn't work for me. I tried it. I felt real hungry. Felt stringy. I felt like I just wanted to eat. I'm so used to it. You know, there's all these debates on whether small meals, one meal, blah, 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 whatever. I just know I've been eating small meals multiple times a day for so long that it's, once I didn't do that and I just tried not to eat, I was dying all day long. And so intermittent fasting, I wasn't really feeling, but works for some people. At Mason, you said you didn't know if the hype was real for Arnold, but you said you like the multi-pack. That is legit. Appreciate it. At Kirk Gatton. Prez, you the man. Up early to train is now a way of life for me. Really turned my life around all aspects. You're an inspiration. Keep it up. Appreciate that, buddy. Hey, daily disciplines are key, man. Are key. When I was reading this book called The Compounding Effect, it just said that you don't have to do anything extra special all at one time, but if you do a long period of time of small, you know, quality things, they compound over time into something great. So that's the same way of building a physique. You got to go every day, grind. You don't pop 18 and 20-inch arms in one workout. Ask CT Fletcher. He's 55 years old. You know, he's been doing all this work for all these years, and now he just popped. So it just it takes time. Everything takes time. But if you just stay steady and stay consistent, you can accomplish some amazing things. There's no boundaries on life. You're the only one to set your boundaries. At Yusuf Anwar, what are some good neck workouts? I'm guessing you mean traps. My favorite superset for traps is heavy barbell shrugs, superset with heavy cleans, 4 or 5 sets. That, and if you look up the rep hold method that I came up with for shrugs, is awesome. So you come up, hold for a 1 count, come up, hold for a 2 count, all the way to 20. It just blows them out. Check that out. At Jake Roca, MP for life. My man. Appreciate it. At Steven Gogos, how do you find the motivation to work out every morning? Man, here's the deal. If I don't work out, it's been so many years, like I'm grumpy and not even that cool to be around because I feel like I'm so lazy. So I guilt myself. That's why I always say, like, if I could just make it to the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror, I don't care if it's 1 in the morning, 5 in the morning. If I'm getting up to work out, I'm going to go do it because I look at myself and think, man, you are soft as all get out if you don't go to the gym. That's just how I feel. And no one, unless you get injured that day, which has happened, and the guy says, man, I shouldn't train today, no one usually comes out of the gym saying, oh, I should have never done that. Almost everybody, 99% of the time, goes, man, I'm so glad I went. So glad you texted me, G, and you came and picked me up. Or I'm so glad our group's rolling. I didn't feel that good today, but I ended up PRing on this lift. I can't tell you how many times over the years I've felt shitty and went to the gym and was the strongest I ever had been in months. You just never know. Or some days you go in there and it don't feel good, then shut it down, but you still went and got in some accessory work, some abs or whatever. So at the end of the day, you got to have a defined why you're going. What is your goal? You just going because everybody says you should go, or do you have like an actual goal of why you're there? That's important. And then just, make a commitment. Don't be soft. Just get it done. That's it. It's not going to feel great every day. But like it comes back to just daily, consistent things are key for achieving success. Let me see here. What we got? Tim Egan wants to know if you cycle with salt. Yep, I touched on this earlier. It's 12 weeks on, 2 weeks off. That's how I do it. Or even 12 weeks on, 1 week off. We'll change it up for you. At James Jordan, I lost 120 pounds in 7 months. Any tips on loosening tight skin or tightening up my loose skin? A lot of people said it just takes time. It does take a lot of time. At the end of the day, James, once your body stabilizes a little bit, because you done lost so much weight so fast, make sure you're weight training, make sure you're eating clean, and just like, losing some more body fat. I always tell people go get swole plan phase 4. It's still a diet phase, but the volume of the weight training will add some muscle and should give you a little bit different appearance. So I appreciate you said it's all you use in MP, and I appreciate having you in the brand, man. And congrats on the weight loss. That's what's up. At Kyle Kawa, I should start a recipe blog for Get Swole Plan. I'm so boring, dude, with my recipes. I think I should get a recipe book of all the stuff that I've had over the years. But day to day, man, I would just wear you out with my blog if I was just talking about recipes, because I'm kind of a machine. I eat a lot of the same stuff. But I'm glad you started the program. Hopefully you have good results. I'm sure you will. Keep training hard. Mind, body, soul workout. What's your take on IFYM versus clean eating? I'm guessing that's if it fits your macros. Here's the deal. So I don't really like debate. I'm friends with all the guys that are always talking about this stuff online between Lane and Joe, and I'm cool with all those dudes. So for me, though, my personal thing is when I'm got my metabolism crazy high, like I just came off a show, just done whatever, it seems like if I eat 2,500, 3,000 calories and it ain't that clean, my body don't really change a whole bunch. Okay? When I'm not, my metabolism maybe ain't that fast, and I'm trying to get it back there, maybe because I've did the Get Swole thing for bodybuilding.com or whatever, and I eat that same 3,000 calories, my body doesn't get any better. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but my metabolism's fast, I can get away with more. When it's not very fast, I can't. So I have to eat cleaner when it's not crazy fast, because if not, I'm going to keep gaining body fat. And when my body fat's already low, as long as I don't eat terrible, like way over top my maintenance, I can get away with way more stuff. So, but that just comes with the work and the consistency that you put in. Your body just chews it up faster. So hopefully that answers your question. You look pretty lean in your picture, so I'm guessing you could do the first one. Bobby Deluria, he said, would it be a good training workout to do 5 sets of 5 for compound exercise and then to a higher rep accessory movements for hypertrophy? Yeah, for sure. The Get Swole Plan Phase 5, that's on MusclePharm.com, and I believe it's on MuscleStrength.com, is 5 sets of 5 and then the 28 method. So a very similar idea. So you're doing 5 sets of 5 heavy, and then the 28 method, just throw crazy blood in it. So yeah, same concept. At Matthew Roller, is it bad to use creatine with assault combat? Should it use it pre or post? The way I would do it is assault, workout, combat, and creatine not together but separate post workout. That's how I would do it. Jacob Wethington. Hey Cory, just wondering what your advice would be with a guy who has some muscle but has a skinny, fat look. Get rid of the belly fat. So at the end of the day, Jacob, no one wants to have skinny arms and a stomach, right? I mean, that's so whether or not you're downplaying or overplaying it, either way, that's a good question. I always recommend do the busy diet and just get lean. Because even if you're like on the skinnier side and you get your body fat low, then you can look like a rock star with abs, like a model or something for a second. Then go to get swole plan. Oh, I just knocked the desk. My bad. Then go to get swole plan phase 3 and 4 and put some muscle on. So that's what I would do, and you'll change dramatically. At Matthew Rowland, with your nutrition plans, none of them discuss alcohol. Do you avoid it completely? I don't drink a whole bunch, man. It don't really do nothing for you, but mess up for your performance, dehydrates you, and so I would never talk about it in my plans because to me it's not even on the agenda when I'm like hardcore training. Now, do I like beer? Yes. Do I like mixed drinks? Not so much. I'll drink a Guinness or Sam Adams once a month or at a family event or at a game or something. Look, I'm normal. I try to have fun just like everybody else. But to drink a beer on a Tuesday for no apparent reason does not the way I roll. It does nothing for me. It just messes up my workouts and I feel crappy the next day. So I would avoid beer unless it's for I call it like an event. If you got an event, then yeah, it's cool. But I would match every time you drink a beer, match it with a water to try to keep your hydration. So hopefully that helps. At George Talkany, regarding calves, is it true that it's almost impossible for them to grow no matter how hard you train them? Some people have genetics in them, some people don't. I would just say you can do them daily and you can do them. I would change your reps a lot. Some heavy, some high reps, seated, standing, donkey. Do them up the stairs. One of my favorite calf workouts at the house is go to your staircase. This blows them out. Go to your staircase. Do 15 reps on the first step, 20 reps on the third step or second step, 25 reps, 30, 35, 40, and work all the way up your staircase and change your feet placement as you go. And that's a calf workout I did a lot in high school. I mean, I could jump pretty high in high school. I think I had a lot to do with it. At Andrew Goss, Cory, with cutting season fastly approaching, what split would be best and what kind of cardio and how many times a week would you do it? I usually do this last time, I did like post-workout lunges. I didn't even do traditional cardio at all. So I ate clean, trained at the gym, and then went to the track about 4 days a week and lunged 800 meters, sometimes a mile. That's what I did. If you'd like to do cardio, just do sprints for like 15, 20 minutes, intervals, things like that, and cut it quits. Michael Proshka, thanks a lot for the advice. No problem, man. I would pull off mats and pull out of the rack heavy. That would get you a lot stronger. Mike Orm, I like to see how you appreciate CT and LaRon. Keep up the hard work and continued support. Man, I appreciate everybody helps at MP. All the athletes we work with have been great. They're part of the family. They've been cool. And they just it's been fun to have them on staff and on board. And it's fun because it's different. This kind of business, you can go train with somebody and chop it up in the gym, and everybody got respect for everybody. It's cool. Joe Fimini, currently on Get Swole, phase 2 out of 5. Assault pre-recon creatine post, 6'1", 190. Want to get up to 200 pounds, eating 2,800 calories daily. Any advice to achieve my goal? Joe, what I would do is when you're done with combat, just swipe out Iron Mass for combat. See what happens. You got to add 10 more pounds. Do that, and just on your leg day, add a big cheat meal. So like if you train legs on Tuesdays, then add pizza or a sub or something on that day. See what happens. At Chris, no, a friend of mine, trying to gain weight, eats clean, works out hard, doesn't show what's wrong. I would just say check out the pyramid phase and Get Swole, phase 2. Follow the diet, follow the training, supplement regimen, and he'll gain some weight. Do you have any experience with lagging body parts? If so, how do you help overcome these obstacles at development, Matt? Everybody got a lagging body part. A lot of times I train them twice a week. I mean, if you talk to CT, he'll say train it every day. I want to get one of my goals this year is to get 18-inch arms because I've had 17, I think like 17 3/4, but shit, I was about 240. I want to have 18s weighing like 190, 185, 190. So he said, I said, hey CT, what do I got to do to get my arms bigger? He said, train them every day, Cory. I was like, all right. So it depends. Some people just bash them every day. Some people do them a couple days a week. If you have a lagging body part, I just work on it, man. I mean, Arnold did his calves every day because that was his lagging body part. CT wanted a huge arm, so he did them every day. So you just got to watch you don't damage yourself. Just be careful with it. But yeah. At Matthew Rowland. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. You can do the daily workouts and just follow the diet plan to get swollen. Do the dailies. That's cool. At Brent DeRoden, you mentioned in a tweet that you were looking for a MusclePharm rep in New York. Did you get my email? Brent, I don't believe I got your email. I don't know if you have my correct email. And we already have a person in New York. I don't know. We were looking for somebody in Tampa, but we filled that too, I believe. At Daniel Roca, for you, abs workouts are boring. Are they boring to me? I don't think so. I mean, I just do a little bit every day. I got like a routine I do before I go to bed with my ab wheel and my weighted crunches. I don't really get crazy and do a big, huge variety of stuff, but you know, the stuff I do, I don't mind at all. Toes to bars are hard, especially not like the kipping ones, but the slower ones. The action panel. Okay, man, let me know how that bar placement works out. I bet you that's the key. That's been the key to me for a long time. As soon as I put the bar placement different, my squat flew up. It's all about keeping the bar in line with your hips. So if it's way high and you're not sitting back and you're sitting back too far, not enough. I mean, when it's in that low bar position and you sit back correctly, it seems like it's like right over top your hips and your glutes, and it makes your squat a lot better. At Tim Egan, do you do drop sets? Sure, I do drop sets. I like doing drop sets. Arnold loved drop sets too. We talked about that last week. At Sunny Kofax, is the Get Swole package the same for all 4 phases? Yeah. So you want to buy it each month and add a creatine or iron mass depending on what you're after, what's your body type. At Cookboy12, at some point we will have some more organic type stuff. Yep. At Lou Casanelli, most people say take casein before bed, but how is mornings if you work out in the evenings? Lou, I like casein all different times, buddy. So this last time I took a lot of casein just during the day, especially if I was hungry with the slower digestion. Made me feel good. So yeah, most people take it before bed, but I think you take it whenever. Just depends on how some proteins react different than other people. Like I think I might have got leaner using casein this time just because I hadn't used it as my primary source. Your body wants to change just like your workouts, no different. Are you currently taking shred or iron cuts? I'm taking iron cuts right now. Do you find it's harder for tall people to bench press 10 Egan? Man, I know this guy named Josh Guthridge is like 6'6", that benches 800 in a shirt and 600 something raw. Long arms. I mean, long arms. Shouldn't even be good at bench, but he made his triceps freaky strong. And even though his stroke is super long with his bench, he's still a beast. At Tiabella 630, do you ever take days off from the gym? And what do you do to chill out, stay active out outside of the gym? I take Sundays off because I want to be with my family and not really worry about the gym. And other activities I like to do, I like to hoop, I like to golf, anything I can do with my kids, taking a ball game, you know, run around outside the yard. I'm key for wanting to play any sport outside. You know, I can still move around pretty good, so the kids like doing whatever. At Nazar R, when is the app for the Android and iPhone coming? On the website it says soon. I'm trying to get ETA now. There's so much information. It's taking a while to get it done, but I'm hoping by the end of the first quarter. As soon as we get the website launched with all the workouts, which should be within the next week or so, I think that'll be soon after. At Vital Yuchter, yes. At Rumen Ivan, There, I just finished the 16-week Get Swole Trainer and discovered there's a 5th phase. Can you tell me about that phase? Yep, the phase is 5 sets of 5, like traditional weightlifting with basics, and then 28 method right after. It's either at Muscle and Strength or MusclePharm.com. Go download it and check it out. Let's see here. We got next. At Jason's staff, following the Get Swole plan, what is a good amount of weight to gain per week? Depends on kind of how your body reacts to a plan. If you're at 155 and you want to go to 160, I would just worry about gaining a pound a week. If you do that, you should be fine. You might gain a couple pounds of body fat over 16 weeks, but if you add that, 5 pounds of muscle, if you haven't really, blasted your body like this before, you probably add a few pounds of good quality muscle too, for sure. Matthew Smith, take combat post-workout after your amino 1, take it for snacks during the day, take it before bed. You can use it for multi-purposes. So, hope that helps. At Andrew Katz, how do you get it revving high, your metabolism? How can you tell if it's fast or slow? I can tell if mine's fast or slow by what I'm eating and what the result is. And usually whether I'm super hot during the day, super hungry, it all just depends on like what, kind of what I got on the table, what's coming up. And the way you get it faster is by high intense work, low rest in the gym. And then also a lot of people's metabolism will jump up from doing legs really often and from sprint work. Are you looking for a rep in Atlanta? I have a rep in Atlanta actually. Ryan, he's down there. At Tiabella 630, you got it, girl. And I believe it's 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Ha! Sorry. Some of my computers on Eastern time, some of them on Mountain time. Appreciate everything today, guys. We had a good time, and I look forward to the next one here in a week to 2 weeks, and we are out. Peace. MusclePharm.com, MuscleStrength.com. Late.